what I can do is I can use a brutalize on him right here. Here it is, and it does 4 hits. So I do have 5 stacks. You can see if I do Unchained on Ra here, and then it gives me a wonderful stun. Seething Howl gives me physical power and some life steal, as you see there. I'm gonna use Ragnarok, my ultimate. I'm gonna grab Ra in my mouth, and I'm gonna pull him back to my line, and I can just use my brutalize to finish him off and pounce out of the way to get away safely. Hello my ninjas and jets, it's Peabutnutterninja and welcome to Smite Beta. We are playing with Fenrir the Unbound, the wolf god. I've been waiting for this guy. I love freaking wolves and I'm so glad he's released. And guys, I will show you my skill build right here. He has 3 skill builds, almost 2 jumps really. Brutalize is a little bit of a pounce, but it's a very short pounce, as I'll show you here. How I level is I start with the Brutalize first, then I get his Unchained second, then I level up his Brutalize third as well. I'm going to start with my basic build that I usually go with in terms of actual conquest play, and so I will get a shielded recall, and I will also get this Fury beads. It really depends on the god that you fight. If you're fighting against Ymir, you definitely want Fury beads, but if you're fighting against gods that don't really have stuns or pulls, then you don't really need this. You can get sprint Aegis or sprint Fury beads, but I do like shielded recall. You can use it like an Aegis. It is pretty fantastic, I do say so myself. And so again, Fenrir does so much damage. He's capable of doing a lot of damage, but his early game hurts a little bit. You just have to play a little bit passive against these minions, especially against a god like Ra who can really clear it out. So what I will do is I will let Ra push out a little bit, as it is risky for me to engage these guys. Yep, see, my archers are already gone. Ra just doing a lot of chip damage. I didn't get any damage on him, but as soon as my minions push out, what I can do is I can use a brutalize on him right here. Here it is, and it does 4 hits, and it does extra damage on top of the original 4 hits that I would use. So it's not just, you can see that it's just a little bit of damage here, like 20 plus 4.5. It's like 20. Oh, I did not mean to hit Ra. Oh, those minions are not going to like me very much. So it isn't just 24 damage, it's 24 additional damage per hit, and those regular attacks, those 4 hits that you do on the enemy, those can be crits, normal hits, whatever they want, whatever your normal 4 hits are. And so here is his first skill. It's Unchained, it pounces, and oh, I just totally missed that. And if it hits with the 5 rune stacks, then it does have a stun. I'm going to try it again. And if you hit an enemy god with Unchained, the cooldown is halved, so you do have a much more chasing ability. And we are going to push these minions to this tower, no problem. We're going to let these guys just kind of push back here. And so I will show you Unchained on that Ra. Hopefully he doesn't dodge it. That was a pretty noob Unchained by my part. And so I do have 5 stacks. You can see if I do Unchained on Ra here, and then it gives me a wonderful stun, then I can use my Brutalize and just do 4 extra hits of damage. You can see I did about half his HP pretty quickly and pretty early on. So if he has no minions to support him, then you can just go ahead and harass, no problem. And I'll show you guys my Seething Howl. Seething Howl gives me physical power and some life steal, as you see there. So some extra 5 hit life steal. I'm gonna use Ragnarok, my ultimate. I'm gonna grab Ra in my mouth, and I'm gonna pull him back to my line, and I can just use my brutalize to finish him off and pounce out of the way to get away safely. And I said safely. Yes, I do get that kill. So again, Ra just in a lot of trouble. Fenrir does just so much damage, especially late game. Usually your skills taper off in terms of usability, but with Fenrir, he just does so much damage, even late game, because his Brutalize uses his normal attacks to do damage. And if you have any skill that utilizes your normal attacks to do damage, you can do massive amounts, especially once you finish your Deathbringer and once you finish your Rage. And so what I will get next is this Warrior Tavi. You can level up your abilities here, so don't forget to do those. I should, in a real game, probably level up this Fury Beads next, but Ra doesn't really have any stuns. I can also level up the Shielded Recall just to reduce that cooldown from 240, but I'm just doing fine right now. You can see Ra hanging back in his line. I can utilize this Ra. Look at exactly how much damage that is really doing. I can pounce and maybe get a kill. No, as he is a sneaky bird. He did get a graphics change. He does look a lot buffer than what I've seen before. So let's just clear out these minions here. And so you can see exactly, I'm just going to play out this game quite a long time, just so I can get the gold, just to finish most of his build, most of Fenrir's build, and you can really see how much damage I'm capable of doing. And look at these buffs. I'll show you how fast I can clear out a minion camp, and you can see I just did so much damage with my Brutalize. It just does so much damage against all minions. And remember, if you have 5 stacks, it deals 75% damage to nearby enemies. So this is very, very, very good for clearing our jungle areas. And you can see 114 goes to each enemy out in the outskirts. And so you can actually engage on gods pushing your minion line. You'll most likely end up killing the minion line as well, so that's no problem. I'm just gonna get 5 stacks here. And just Brutalize. Oh my god, you can see exactly how much damage that is. And oh, this Ra is in a lot of trouble if he doesn't realize that I'm coming in for a gank. Oh, he's diving my turret. So I'm just gonna go ahead. And what I can do is you can use Ragnarok and bite Ra, and you can bring him to your tower, and then there's no way that he can escape. You get a free tower kill there. Oh, poor buddy. Poor buddy. And I'm just gonna use my Brutalize there and gonna protect my tower, and I'm also gonna get some better items. I'm gonna lay off leveling up these active items just so I can show you what I build in game. And like any magical failure, physical melee, there's no such thing as a magical melee. So any like physical melee, I always go with this Void Blade. I like getting Void Blade over this Devourer's Gloves. If you are dominating, you can go for an early Devourer's Gloves, but it does make you really squishy, so any advantage that you have won't be secured by Devourer's Gloves. In fact, there's a lot of potential for you to be hurt by it. And you can see this Ra. Can I kill this buddy? Come on, 1 crit! Oh, he gets away with 1 freaking swipe. Ra, you swipe. Oh my goodness. And so it looks like I won't be able to kill Ra this time around. It's no problem, guys. No problem. We'll get him next time. We'll get him next time. Never give up, right? And so you can see this Brutalize just does so much damage. And later, once you get to around level 8, you can initiate on the enemies. If you do it too early, you will get killed by those minions. And this is why I also like Void Blade as well, is because if they have a lot of enemy minions, then you do get that extra tank ability from the minions, as they won't be doing quite as much as 20 damage per hit. It's so much damage. And look at this Ra. He doesn't even care. He says, "What's up? What's up?" He is fearless. And you can see 1 Brutalize does about half its HP. And like I said, I haven't even started building my full build yet. Is Ra gonna go back? Ra is gonna go back, which allows me to just take this jungle uncontested. Just get this guy right there. You can see exactly that Brutalize is just doing so much damage. And again, like I said, it does scale off his normal attack damage. And if you're playing as a physical melee and you start building for physical melee, then your attack damage later on just scales really high. You could be critting for 600, 900, depending on what type of god and what type of build you're going with. So we just go around here. Ra is pushing my tower though. So I'm gonna have to get back into lane as soon as possible after I get this buff. Thank you, buddy. And Ra actually might take my tower out of this. And what I will do is I will punish that Ra for engaging on him. Hey, who said you can take my tower? So I'm gonna bite this Ra. I'm gonna take him to my tower. Look at this. And he's gonna get killed by this arrow. Nope, I'm gonna finish him off, but that's no problem, guys. You can see my tower does extra damage. It's like a pole almost. If you do use Pure Beads or Aegis, you do get out of his mouth, but that's still, you still have to contend with how much damage Fenrir can still dish out after he turns from his monster wolf form, after he turns out from Ragnarok. And so Seething Howl coming down here, and just you see all that life leech, extra damage. Not a great skill, but not the worst skill. I mean, just extra chip damage. And it's pretty nice. And oh, Ra just killing out my minion line. He's juking me. I won't be able to kill anything here. And I can actually finish out these gloves and this Void Blade. I'm just gonna let him just come out a little bit further out of their shells. I'm just gonna use my Seething Howl, just get some life back. And if you have 5 stacks and you use Seething Howl, then you get a 50% bonus to physical power and lifesteal added. Again, this also applies to your allies as well, so your allies can get a lot of extra bonus Is it targeting me? Why is it targeting me? I do not know why. That's okay. It's quite okay. And actually, I need a little bit more gold. I want to finish off my gloves, and I also want to finish off my Void Blade at the same time. So I think one more minion wave should do it for me. One more Raw should do it for me. And what I can do is I can bring my Raw back to my archers here, and you get a free hit after you drop them off out of your mouth. Just know that. So that after you do that, then you can definitely get a free hit. So if you can, always try to bring them away from their allies, your enemies, and always try to bring them to your allies. So take them away from them and bring them to you. Very basic strategy, but it is very, very good to play. So far, I'm loving Fenrir. I love his skin. I love his alternative skin. It's like Frostbound or Frostwolf or something. It's very, very cool. I always think Frostwolves are very cool. And now I can start building stacks with my gloves here. Thank you, buddy. 2 stacks, not bad. And that Raw is scared of me. I'm level 13. He knows that I am a bad news wolf here. Little Red Riding Hood is scared of this one. I can actually dive this Raw. And you can see it is on half-second cooldown, but it wouldn't have been enough for me to just go and jump back out immediately. So maybe if you had a Jotun's Wrath or some other cooldown item, you might be able to jump out again. But usually if you jump in like that, you can use your ultimate Ragnarok to just kind of roam around in there, or you can use you know, your Unchained to jump out or whatever. He has a lot of mobility, so I do like having Fenrir just kind of jump around. Again, you can see Brutalize, not too much of a jump, but it is a small jump. It can mean the difference between life or death, depending on how close you are to death, and depending on what the enemy's skill is. If it's a pretty on-target skill, you can use your Brutalize to jump after you use your Unchained to initiate, or you can use your Brutalize to initiate and then use your Unchained to jump, which is the way that I usually do it. I usually engage with this Brutalize here, right in this enemy line, and then depending on how close he is to death, I would either go chase him or run away if I see ally support coming. Hopefully that's how I play. I know that he is a new god, so I'm still getting quite a bit used to him. He is really fun to play. And it looks like Nazad's not really getting any nerfs. He does a lot of freaking damage, but it's hard to do that damage. He doesn't really have any escape, so it's either do or die with Nazad, and I think that's a fine way to kind of build him. That's no problem in my book. So if he does manage to land a stun and Armillary Sash, then he deserves to really do a lot of punishing damage. But if he misses it, that's no problem, guys. So you can get away or counter kill him. Seething Howl coming out here, just doing a little bit of extra damage. Not too much. Again, it's only 50 physical power and 20% lifesteal. That lifesteal is what's really amazing. Oh my god, just so much damage, guys. Ridiculous amounts. And so my next item here would be some kind of penetration. Usually by this time they're building some kind of tank, so I will get level 1 Titan's Bane just to show you. You can go with Executioner. Executioner is the better overall item, but Titan's Bane I like because you don't really have to get in close. You don't have to do 3 hits to do full damage. But again, with this Brutalize, Fenrir is always going to get 4 hits every single time. So I don't know how the math works out so far, but I think the Executioners actually works out in favor of Fenrir more than the Titan's Bane. I'm going to have to do this really quickly. So you start with 33% versus 21% and 15%. Oh, Raw takes my tower? You naughty Raw. You can see me just pouncing on him with that Brutalize. He never stood a chance, guys. Never stood a chance. Fenrir's attack speed also very high, you know, for all physical melees have very high attack speed at the end game. He's slower than Bakasura and Kali and the generic Bakasura, the generic physical melees, but he's still very capable of doing a lot of high speed attacks in a row. Let's clear out these minions. Minion number 81, bad day for him. He should have called in sick to work. He had tickets to the game, the big NBA Finals, and yet he's like, okay, fine, I'll just go to work today, and then I'll go and see them. And let's just buy this instead. So you can see my build is nicely filling out here. I'll probably actually show you the Executioner because it, again, like I said, it is a better endgame item because that 20% extra attack speed, very, very strong. And then I'm going to sell this and get a Rage because it doesn't look like they're doing much damage. If the enemy is really strong, has a lot of physical damage, they have a Fenrir, they have a Naza, something like that, then you can make this damage. Oh my god. We're going to pounce on that Raw blind. And oh boy, he is not having a good day. Raw just recently got a makeover. He got to the gym. He got really, really buff. He's been working out. He said, you know what? I'm not going to get beat up by these new players anymore. I'm going to stand up for my own. And then guess what? I come in and give him a bad day. Send Raw your condolences in the hospital. All that gym time, all that new rehashing his new skin is not going to save him from the wrath of Peabutnutterninja. And what we can do is kill this guy. And these minions not having a very good day too. They said, hey, Ninja's been on a little break. We can have a little rest, you know? Maybe save up some vacation days. We can go to Aruba. And nope, I just come and ruin it all for them with the wolf in their face, just eating up all their children. Everything. Can ogres make children? If two ogres are alone in the forest, can they make children? I do not know. So you can see that Raw just taking so much damage. You can see I just crit him with one of my brutalized hits. It's just ridiculous the amount of damage that I'm capable of doing. And I could finish this right now. I just want to showcase exactly how high Fenrir's damage is going to go, so I'm just going to keep killing some of these guys here. And then I'm just going to finish up this jungle as soon as I can. So I will sell this, and I still have to finish this Executioner as well, so it's going to take a little while, guys. But if you want to see how much damage this Fenrir can do, you can skip ahead, no problem. Oh, I actually want to sell this. I do want an Executioner. I could wait in base because there's such a high gold spawn, but guys, that's never any fun, is it? It's never any fun. So the last item I do want is this. No. Yes. No. Yes, that one. 807 crits. Can you believe it? 957 on the little fries. Oh man, these little ogre babies, they're having a bad day. Are these ogre babies or are they just like midget ogres? Or are the big ones just overgrown ogres? Because that's a pretty big difference in size. Like imagine if humans were like that. You had, you know, half of your humans like 12 feet and then other half, well like maybe a third of the humans 12 feet and then another 2/3 is 6 feet, and you guys have these little guys as well. I don't know. Hey, you're not allowed to hit my Phoenix. Oh my god, look at how much damage this is doing. Oh, I missed my brutalize, but you can see that's no problem there. Raw unable to escape my evil grasp here. So I need 2,200 gold to finish off this Executioner. And I'll probably be hitting for 1,000 damage. And so like I said, when late in game you can use your Brutalize to initiate on the enemy, you can actually pop your Fury Beads and then hit Brutalize, and what that allows you to do is that the enemy tries to freeze you, you'll still be doing damage to the enemy mage or the enemy carry. The only way that the carry or the mage is going to escape is if they have a jump. Raw does not have a jump, so he'll never be able to escape. But let's say Agni, he does have a jump, so he'll be able to escape. And On here has a jump. He can escape, need him to escape, but Artemis cannot, and you know, Debo cannot as well. And oh, that poor Raw. Does he have some physical defense? He has reinforced boots, Market Vanguard, just a little bit here, and he has natural physical defense as well. What we can do is you see how I'll show you how much life steal. Like this, 143, 235. Oh, just crits all around, just so much life. And guys, it's Executioner time, and you can see I'm going to use one Brutalize with Raw for full health, and you guys can see exactly how much damage is going to happen. And I don't think he's even going to survive 3 hits. My guess is he's not going to survive. He's going to survive to the 3rd hit, but he won't get hit with the 4th. That is my expert opinion right now. And guys, that is ridiculous. You can kill an enemy god with 1 skill. That is so strong. And Rock. Three. Oh, he does survive for the 4th hit, and you can see the last hit doing 687 damage. But look, his build is almost done. And even if he went a little bit more tanky, I think he still would have died, no problem. There's so much damage coming out. Let's see how much damage I do this Phoenix. 133. Jeez, that's just so much damage. And I'm going to try to brutalize the Minotaur, see how that works out. I'm going to wait for some minions here. I'm going to wait for these minions. That Raw is back. Raw and the Minotaur are best buddies. They go out, you know, they party on the weekends. They say, hey, what's going on? They share tales about their girlfriends. What brutalized on this Raw is dead. Look at that. And the only way he can't escape, there's nothing he can do. He has to Aegis that every single time in order to survive. Because if I use my Purity Beads and then I go in with the Brutalize, then he can't do anything. Let's see how much damage I do to this guy. Oh my god, about 1/3 of damage. Let's see, I'm just gonna turn to the wolf here. And I'm just gonna... I just went Wolf Fury into his butt cheek. And I guess that is painful. I don't want any wolves tearing into my butt cheek. But guys, Fenrir, so strong. I really like his skill set. He has one main jump and a small little pounce. Allows him a lot of mobility to grab the enemy on the field. And his skill, Brutalize, allows him to just stay on the enemy as well. That's a lot of problem for a lot of physical melees is, you know, they get 1 or 2 basic attacks off and then the enemy usually gets away or kind of jukes him around. But with Fenrir, you can't really juke around. You have to freeze him or you have to do something to really counteract his Brutalize. Otherwise, he's just going to jump in there and just tear you to shreds. And if he pops his Purity Beads, as I said, in the late game encounter preemptively and you use your Brutalize, back end mages and the back end carries are not going to be able to do much. Even if you do that against a carry, let's say like Anhir, you get 1 or 2 hits off. Anhir jumps, he's at about 1/3 or maybe 1/2 HP, then you just use your leap and ulti right away. And that way you can kill that Anhir and probably get away before even the enemy team can turn around. And by the time they turn around, your rest of your team, the 4 in your team, is going to can or will probably engage if they're smart, that enemy team. And so then now you're 5 on 4 and you're kind of just baiting them around. You can see how much damage I did to Raw. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Raw. I know you got all buff from going to the gym, but buddy, you just have a bad day. You're gonna, you know, you need to work out your quadriceps a little bit more. They're a little bit, you know, lacking. And you can see this build here. Start off with Death Toll, Warrior Tabi, Void Blade, lifesteal item. If you are dying, you can also get Soul Eater instead. But again, I love Devourer's Gloves. Executioner or Titan's Bane, Deathbringer, Rage, and by this time you can probably just one-shot any mage in the back line. Just so strong, even better than Naza. I thought there wouldn't be any gods more stronger or more capable than just assassinating people than Naza, but it seems like Fenrir is your go-to guy, go-to wolf or animal to just destroy. I love his skill set, I love his skins. I foresee nerfs in the future. Probably his number 3 is going to get nerfed somehow, and I don't really know how, because this doesn't do that much damage to begin with. It's just those basic attacks that do a lot of damage. Maybe his basic attack damage will get reduced somehow, but I would like to see what exactly happens to him, guys. I hope you enjoyed this gameplay. If you found this informative, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, peace, love, and ninja. Peabutnutterninja signing out. Bye-bye, guys.